It is Game 4 in the ATL tonight. The Bucks leading the series 2-1 and are in search of their third straight win. Chris Middleton is coming off a big 38-point game. Meanwhile, Trae Young listed as questionable with a bone bruise in his right foot, but told reporters yesterday he plans to play. Neek, who's the most important player in Game 4 tonight?
Oh, it's easy. We just saw him. That guy limping back from the locker room. Trae is the only guy that matters for that Hawks team. You can look over at the Bucks and you can see like a legitimate big three. And I mean no disrespect to the guys on the Hawks team, but they don't really have a legitimate big three. They got Trae and a bunch of really, really good young role players who are rising to the occasion. But if Trae doesn't show up, they don't stand a chance. Like, if he's not close to 100%, like, I get it. Nobody's 100% this time of year. But if he's limping around, hobbling, and not getting lift on his shot like he was in the fourth quarter of that last game, they don't stand a chance. Like, he's got to run that pick and roll and hit those little teardrops and set those alley-oops up to set up the open shots for guys on the perimeter. Like, that is their offense. So if he doesn't show up, they're an entirely different team. But I can look over on the other side, and you could take one or two of those guys off the team and still have somebody that you can build a team around. So I don't know. I assume we're having this topic because Kendrick disagrees, but I'm not sure how you can possibly disagree with that. Like, they're the most important person in this game is obviously Trae Young, right?
Well, no, not right. I mean, look, you said a lot of good things, and I'm not totally disagreeing with you. Trae Young is the most important player to the Atlanta Hawks, and that's the obvious, right? But who's picked to win this series? The Milwaukee Bucks. Who has the most talent? The Milwaukee Bucks. Who has the big three? The Milwaukee Bucks. Only two of those guys have shown up, and that's Chris Middleton and Giannis. Jrue Holiday. Where in the hell are you, okay? You are supposed to be one of the best two-way players in the game today. Right now, you're not guarding anybody because Trae Young is having it his way. I believe he dropped 40 on you in game 1 or whatever the case may be. He's probably averaging around 35 or 36 in the goddamn series. Where are you on the defensive side of things? Offensively, Trae Young, what are you doing? I mean, Jrue Holiday, what are you doing? Trae Young is a smaller guard. Take him to the low block. We all know how gifted Trae Young is offensively, but defensively, he can't guard a parked car. 2 for 11. They brought him here to be the one to get them over the hump. Jrue Holiday, where are you? You are nowhere to be found right now. I'm seeing too many careless turnovers, too many missed layups, just playing careless basketball. You have to deliver. If Jrue Holiday elevates his game, the Bucks win this game tonight, and they win the series in great fashion. That's why Jrue Holiday, in my opinion, is the most important player in this series.
I think Jrue definitely wants to step up. And I think the Bucks want to see him step up, but you're arguing against yourself a little bit right there. They win in the series without him showing up in the way that you expect him to be. So to me, that kind of proves the point that he is not nearly as important as Trae Young is. We saw what happened to that team when Trae Young went out, and we all know what will happen to that team if Trae Young can't do the things that he's been doing. So I'm with you. Jrue Holiday, we expect more from him given how much they gave up to get him and given what they expect from that team, but they expect to win the series. They're on track to win this series, so it's hard for me to I guess you could say there's more pressure on Jrue Holiday because they have these expectations, but it's hard for me to say that he's more important than Trae Young, and honestly, it's hard for me to say he's more important than Middleton or Giannis because they're winning on the backs of Middleton, on the back of Giannis, and the only game that the Hawks won and their only chance of winning is if Trae Young shows up and plays like the superstar that he has become this year in the playoffs. So Jrue Holiday is important, but not that important.
Domonique, you really need to stop, man. You really need to stop. They paid this man $160 million. You don't think he's that important? He's pretty damn important, okay? And for the simple fact is this, and I'm going to go back to the defensive side of things. He's supposed to be able to come in and neutralize Trae Young. Jrue Holiday, acts around the NBA, well respected, one of the most underrated defenders in the league, first team all defense. You are not supposed to be letting Trae Young hang 40s and 35s on you. If Trae Young don't get injured, I don't know which direction that game would have went in. But I know one thing, Trae Young was controlling the game. The Hawks had control before Trae Young twisted his ankle. So with that being said, Jrue Holiday, that's your matchup. That's your position. You're the point guard. And then on the other end, you're running the show. You're supposed to be that third option guy or even at times the second option guy. You can't be delivering 2 for 11 when you have Trae Young or Hurd or whoever else is trying to guard you. You are better than that. It's just not getting it. It's not good enough. You're the deciding factor.
Yeah, I don't know how Jrue Holiday can be first-team all-defense and underrated. Maybe he should have been Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know. Maybe he is still underrated even though he's first-team defense. But I think you made a great point. The Hawks were on track for winning that game until Trae got hurt. And Jrue Holiday hasn't contained Trae. The reason why they brought him in there is to contain players like that. So I think that is fair. I think you can expect more from him, and 2 for 11 is not. Go ahead, Perk.
Domonique, Jrue Holiday is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. If you ask around the league, they'll tell you that. He don't get enough praise. Yes, he made first team all defense. I get that, or whatever the case may be. But when you ask around the league, they'll tell you, hey, Jrue Holiday don't get enough credit for what he brings to the table. And he was brought to this team from the New Orleans Pelicans in the trade for Eric Bledsoe to move the needle and elevate the Milwaukee Bucks to get them over the hump, okay?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.